discussion that has taken place for many, many years now, not only in St. Martin, but all over the world. I can recall in 2008, I wrote an article stated, minimum wage increase, yes, but. And when I put the but, I got a lot of complaints. Because they were saying, why not increase the minimum wage? My response was, if you increase the minimum wage, you must also control prices. Otherwise, it makes a difference. The issue of the rent, we know for sure in St. Martin, it is ridiculously high. As a matter of fact, about 2 years ago, there was a meeting in Parliament where the rent committee was requesting our assistance in order to ensure that they be given the proper authority legally to determine what rents to be charged for particular buildings, because the fact was some persons were living in buildings and being charged a large amount of rent in dollars, whereas based on their understanding it should be in guilders, in other words, much less. The issue of minimum wage is something that I believe needs to be adjusted. And I remember some years ago there was a report done in the Nellis Antilles where a survey was done to determine how much is needed for a household of 3 on Curacao. The amount was more or less 2,580 billions. Now, if you compare Curacao with St. Martin, you can definitely deduce that for us, it will be much more than that. So I'm saying that definitely it will be addressed, but we have to do it in a very serious manner, legalistically, and ensure that the price is also controlled with regards to food and so on, because there again, you have to make sure that the prices don't go crazy as they normally go when you hear minimum wage increases.
Although we're dealing with something very, very serious, I started to laugh within myself because we're all saying the same things, repeating each other's words every time. And this is not only here on this panel, but in general, what you speak to, when you speak to people on the street, when you learn about the mother that can't feed her children. You know, I wrote down some stuff, and it's saddening to know that 1,500 guilders with a household of 2.6 persons, and I'm hoping that 2.6 persons is a father and a mother and a child, but they can't cut it. If one person is the income bearer from that family, 1,500 guilders, nah, we all know that. It's not a question. If we asking ourselves if 1,500 guilders could survive a household of 2.6 persons, we know the answer is no. What are we going to do about it? We need to stop talking and start acting. We need to come with solutions that are across the board. We need to look at what we mentioned already, the high cost of food, price control. We need to look at the house rent. We have the committees that will deal with that. And we have also the zoning controls. And why are we not doing anything? Why are we only looking at government to solve our issues when it comes to poverty? Look within amongst yourself, communities, community leaders, the big brothers watching you. Back in the days, how it was so different. Everyone has a story how it was. But today, we ain't acting. We talking. We need to stop talking and start acting, guys. And that is going to be the first step in solving our poverty issues. Start acting. We know the solutions. Let's start doing something for those that are less fortunate.
I believe that a lot has been said here tonight. And one of the things that I would say that today I was in the Belvedere area, and I met a young immigration officer who told me that he earns 2,400 guilders, a family of 4. And we did the calculation in terms of his rent, electricity, water, food, the child care, and everything else. And after the calculation, he was in a deficit of about 500 to 600 guilders. This is an immigration officer that works for the government of St. Martin. In 2013, the Parliament of St. Martin adopted a motion to do a study about the minimum wage. 2013, as you know, was just before an election. Here we are, 2016, and nothing to date has been done as it pertains to that study. The minimum wage In my opinion, I believe that it isn't studies that need to be done. We have done sufficient studies over the years. My colleague, Mr. Pontifle, just mentioned about a study that was done in Curacao, and that's a long time ago. And so many other studies have been done. I believe the time has come that we have to make things happen in St. Martin. We can't wait to go do a study to determine whether the minimum wage should be increased. The minimum wage should increase, we should start now. A decision should be made to increase the minimum wage, even if we start at 1,800 guilders, but to increase it from 1,500 to 1,800 guilders. We don't have to worry about the prices. We, the people of St. Martin, we own 100% of GBE. Do you know that GBE is one of the biggest costs in prices? We own it. The people of St. Martin own it. So we can decide by dropping the energy costs, and based on that, the prices will drop. The harbor, my good colleague here is also one of the workers there. We own the harbor. Containers fee, that is also a part of the cost. But who owns it? We, the people of St. Martin, own those companies.
I'm feeling funny, man. I feel like I'm getting a pain in my chest.
I got this.
You sure?
Yes. It's 30 breaths and 2 compression. Give her here.
Oh, Monique, look, she waking up.
No, Fernand. It is not 30 breaths and 2 compressions. It is 30 compressions and 2 breaths. CPR can be done in 3 simple steps. Step 1, check and call. Step 2, press down or pump. Step 3, blow.
I got it now. It's 30 compression and 2 breaths.
Yes.
Right. CAB.
Hey, Bob, you're on family vacation. Oh, but your daughter's got the measles. But don't worry about it. With your Be Sure travel insurance, children under 12 are covered for free.
Are you be sure? Be sure.
Yeah, for free. Oh my, what an inventory list, and so unnecessary. But wait, your home contents are all insured by Be Sure. That means that you determine the amount you want to insure. No inventory list, no hassle.
Are you be sure? Be sure.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Here we go. This is freedom, this is life. Happiness is all I'm seeking. Carpe diem, I'm seizing every day, not just the weekend. Here's to all the good times that have come to last. Here's to living in the now.
When you can afford what you crave, life just gets so good. KFC, so good for everyone.
and discuss matters of importance with the NIS and Sports Federation?
The NSI?
NSI.
Sit and discuss, no, but we've been in contact with each other. There was actually a couple of advices that had to be processed for the NSI. It is definitely the government's intention and my intention to continue to utilize that foundation to bring all of the execution of sports and the development of sports under one umbrella. There's also a close cooperation with the Sports Federation. I don't know if any coverage was received of it, but I believe 2 weeks ago, there was a young athletes, there was a whole conference where 10 sports, all the young athletes, promising, aspiring athletes were chosen, and they are going to be the ones that will be training for national competitions in the 10 sports. So that was an initiative of the Sports Federation, but it has the cooperation and the blessing of the NSI as well as the sports department. That NSI is still in development, so it is not completely finalized in terms of its operations as yet. The fusion between Foundation Upkeep and them still needs to be finalized, so there are several other aspects. But we are focusing on preparing national teams, and therefore the foundation will be very key in being able to do so, because the foundation will be able to also be able to look into getting funds internationally to assist us in being able to prepare our student athletes as well as our national teams. So we're focusing on school sports at this time. We also have a cooperation with Curacao Foundation for the Development of Sports, in that I believe 2 sports have been chosen, that the winners of their school competitions will travel to Curacao to compete with some of the former Dutch Antilles as well. So that's another way to promote school sports on St. Martin.
We have the Carifta Games coming up. We also have the Central American and the Caribbean Games. Any information forthcoming as to what sporting events St. Martin will be providing athletes for?
I don't have the direct list, but as I told you before, the aspiring athletes, they were looking at 10 different sports. Initially, the ministry was promoting 7 sports, but to be able to take part in the CANOC, I believe, there's 2018 Barranquilla, Colombia. Yeah. Is it in Colombia? There's a games that St. Martin is gearing towards. We are also having athletes that are taking part in the Carifta, but I'm not sure exactly which sports at this time. I do know for sure that the swimming is taking part, but I'm not sure about all the other sports.
And for Carifta?
For Carifta, I said it's swimming for sure, but there are 10 sports. I don't want to start naming them off and reach to 8, but it's basically not baseball, volleyball, basketball, athletics, swimming, track and field. I see I got to 5. I expected that would happen off the top of my head. But there are 10 sports, and I can get it from the St. Martin Sports Federation for you, which the 10 sports are. But I believe table tennis is also one of them, and judo. And they keep coming to me as I go along. But there are 10 sports.
Carifta Central America.
No, this is the 10 sports that are being for the Central American Games.
Okay.
But for Carifta, I don't have a list at this time.
Speaking about electoral reform and time that we have to look at different matters relating to that, recently the discussion has been about widening the voters' base, widening it in terms of having persons not residing on St. Martin, which is now one of the requirements to be able to vote, but having persons not residing on St. Martin vote. There are different ideas that have been launched as far as this is concerned. You know that MP Leona Marlin had presented an initiative draft as far as students abroad, as well as Dutch persons residing on French St. Martin. You have also heard the Prime Minister indicated that it is something that he thinks is necessary, is feasible rather, and he was looking specifically at students in the Netherlands. There's a reasoning behind that, of course, because to register in the Netherlands, our students need to deregister on St. Martin, and that does not count, for example. It does count, but it can happen otherwise. I went to say it does not count for students, for example, in America. But why did I say yes, it does count? Because actually, if you're leaving St. Martin, you're supposed to write out. But where it is not necessary within the kingdom to write out and write in the new country within the kingdom, like it is in America and other such places, the possibility for those students is there that they can vote. However, what I believe is important in this discussion about opening it up beyond persons residing on St. Martin to vote on St. Martin, to me, if especially for students that opportunity is created, then we should think of making it possible that the voting can happen either in the other countries for the students or somehow by electronic means. Why? Because then, to me, if you're talking specifically students, it then would be up to those who can afford to come to St. Martin and vote. And our students, for the majority, are not really in possession of the kind of funds as students to say, well, okay, we have voting, so I am going to go back to St. Martin to vote. So those who can would be able to vote, but those who can't afford to come to St. Martin would not be able to vote. And I think that would be a discrimination. And so if we need to change the Constitution. That's the start way, because it's the Constitution that establishes what the requirements are to vote. And one of them is living on St. Martin. So we need to start there. However, if we decide to do that, to change that, and whether it's only students or persons living outside of St. Martin based on a certain criteria, in my opinion, we need to look at creating a possibility for voting either via electronic means or voting in the country where the student might be, for the reason that I just mentioned. I know in terms of electronic voting, especially electronic voting not on St. Martin, we were not ready to institute electronic voting on St. Martin. So we are far from instituting it that persons outside of St. Martin can vote. I understand and I acknowledge that. But again, I don't think it would be fair, especially if we're giving our students the opportunity to vote, to actually have them or force them, if they want to vote, to come to St. Martin and vote, because then you're going to get only the few who can afford to do so or who can get somebody to fly them to St. Martin to vote, and those who don't want to make use of someone paying for them to come to vote, so paying their airfare, etc. Those persons who don't want to do that and who don't have the funds would not be able to make use of the opportunity to.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
In my opinion, everything is perfect and you would be great for the job. But I see here that there's a 2-year gap in your resume. What did you do?
I was hospitalized for mental illness.
Oh, mental illness?
I've undergone treatment and I have a wonderful family that supports me.
Well, that is good news.
No, it's fine. I'm recovered.
We'll contact you, okay?
For a better understanding of mental health and what you can do to stop mental health stigma, please go to the Mental Health Foundation's website at www.mhf-sxm.com.
From autumn to spring, Stephen is wearing a stock of many hibiscus, exhibiting the various colors of this tropical flower. A bracelet and crown are to complement her attire.
cheese. Followed by the guest number 2.